Vivarti sojam mama garbhago bhut aho nilokasya vidambanam hitat Vishwanja etat swatano nishante Yathabakasham purusha paro bhavam Vivarti sojam mama garbhago bhut Aho nirokasya vidambanam hitat Vishwanja etas swatano nishante Yathabakasham purusha paro bhavam Vivarti sojam mama garbhago bhut Aho nrilokasya vidambanam hitat. Please chant. Vishwam, the entire cosmic manifestation, Yat Etat, containing all moving and non-moving creations, Swatanao, within your body, Nisha Ante, at the time of devastation, Yata Abakasham, shelter in your body, without difficulty. Purushaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Paraha, transcendental. Bhavan, your Lordship. Vibharti, kept. Saha, that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am this form, mama, my, garbhagaha, came within my womb. Abhut, it so happened. Aho, alas, nrilokasya, within this material world of living entities. Vidambanam, it is possible to think of. He, indeed, that kind of conception. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. At the time of devastation, the entire cosmos, containing all created, moving and non-moving entities, entered your transcendental body and is held there without difficulty. But now, this transcendental form has taken birth from my womb. People will not be able to believe this, and I shall become an object of ridicule. Purport. As explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, loving service to the personality of Godhead is of two different kinds. Aishwarya Purna, full of opulence, and Aishwarya Shitila, without opulence. Real love of Godhead begins with the Aishwarya Shitila, simply on the basis of pure love. Premanjana churito bhakti vilochanena shanta shadai bahida eshu vilokajanti janshama sundaranga chintya guna swarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Brahma Samhita 5:38. Pure devotees whose eyes are anointed with the ointment of prema, love, wants to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Shamasundar, Murlidhar, with the flute swaying in his two hands. This is the form available to the inhabitants of Vrindavan, who are all in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Shamasundar, not as Lord Vishnu, Narayan, who is worshipped in Vaikuntha, where the devotees admire his opulence. Although Devaki is not on the Vrindavan platform, she is near the Vrindavan platform. On that Vrindavan platform, the mother of Krishna is Mother Yasoda. And on the Mathura and Dwarka platform, the mother of Krishna is Devaki. In Mathura and Dwarka, the love for the Lord is mixed with the appreciation of his opulence. But in Vrindavan, the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not exhibited. There are 5 stages of loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Devaki is on the platform of Vatsalya. She wanted to deal with her eternal son, Krishna, in that stage of love, and therefore she wanted the Supreme Personality of Godhead to withdraw his opulent form of Vishnu. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur illuminates this fact very clearly in his explanation of this verse. Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhakta do not belong to the material world. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Mancho jo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunam samati tyaitam brahma pujaya kalpate. quote, one who engages in the spiritual activities of unalloyed devotional service immediately transcends the modes of material nature and is elevated to the spiritual platform, end of quote. From the very beginning of one's transactions in bhakti, one is situated on the transcendental platform. Vasudeva and Devaki, therefore, being situated in a completely pure devotional state, are beyond this material world and are not subject to material fear. In the transcendental world, however, because of pure devotion, there is similar conception of fear, which is due to intense love. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktiyaman abhijanati javanjas chasmit tattvataha. And as confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhaktyaham ekajagrahya. Without bhakti, one cannot understand the spiritual situation of the Lord. Bhakti may be considered in 3 stages called Guni Bhuta, Pradhani Bhuta, and Kevala. And according to these stages, there are 3 divisions, which are called Jnana, Jnanamayi, and Rati, or Prema. This is simple knowledge. This is simple knowledge. Love mixed with knowledge and pure love. By simple knowledge, one can perceive transcendental bliss without variety. This perception is called Mana Bhuti. When one comes to the stage of Jnanamayi, one realizes the transcendental opulence of the personality of Godhead. But when one reaches pure love, one realizes the transcendental form of the Lord as Lord Krishna or Lord Rama. This is what is wanted, especially in the Madhurya Rasa. One becomes attached to the personality of Godhead, Si Vigrahara Nishta Rupadi. The loving transactions between the Lord and the devotee begin. The special significance of Krishna's bearing flute in his hand in Brajabhumi, Vrindavan, is described as Madhuri, Virajate. The form of the Lord with a flute in his hand is most attractive. And then one who is most sublimely attracted, and the one who is the most sublimely attracted is Srimati Radharani, Radhika. She enjoys supremely blissful association with Krishna. Sometimes people cannot understand why Radhika's name is not mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, however, Radhika can be understood from the word Aradhana, which indicates that she enjoys the highest loving affairs with Krishna. Not wanting to be ridiculed for having given birth to Vishnu, Devaki wanted Krishna with 2 hands, and therefore she requested the Lord to change his form. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Rumapa Swami Niti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Satarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, we're discussing the birth of Lord Krishna. And specifically, there's been a theme that we're getting from the prayers both by Vasudeva and Devaki. And that is that there is this very bewildering combination of both of them having perfect understanding of Krishna's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all of a sudden having the fear that Krishna is in danger. And Krishna could be killed or harmed by Kamsa, which is very bewildering, because these are, is in one sense, they fully understand, and on the other hand, they forget of Krishna's position. And this is happening almost from one verse to another one. And we've been discussing and hearing in the Srimad Bhagavatam the proper understanding according to our Vaishnava Acharyas of this very confusing sort of behavior of both Devaki and Vasudeva. And it's explained that they have this combination, and in reality, Prabhupada explains that in the purport, that the relationships of the devotees in general, say with Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, is that they fully aware of his opulences. So the relations is in awe and reverence. Understanding Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are Krishna's energy, and everything is controlled by Krishna. Perfect understanding, so the relationship becomes of awe and reverence. And then, so that's the Vaikuntha platform. Then higher than Vaikuntha platform is the Ayodhya platform, where Lord Ramachandra is. And similarly, there is this sense of awe and reverence, but there is an entrance of this loving relationship in terms of more personal. For example, Lord Ramachandra has a relationship with his father and mother, and sometimes then when you have these combinations of awe and reverence, and then these love-based relationships, then Krishna allows that awe and reverence and that knowledge of Krishna's position to be covered. And therefore, the devotee experiences all kinds of emotions. For example, Srila Rupa Goswami explains in the Nectar of Devotion that there are 5 principal rasas or moods or relationships that the devotees have with the personality of Godhead. Those are dasya, servitorship, then comes, neutral. There's a neutral relationship. Then there's a servitorship, dasya. Then there's friendship. But what is it? Friendship is sakya. And then there's parental, vatsalya. And there is a conjugal, madhurya. So within this relationship, then it comes another 7 sub-relations, or different moods that arises, out of this contact with Krishna. And some of them are, for example, anger. Some of them are shrivelly, fear, lamentation, laughter, or joking type of thing. So these are things that the devotee experience, and when they experience that, the position of Krishna, the knowledge of Krishna's position and opulence becomes covered. For example, the father of Lord Ramachandra, King Dasarath, he exhibited fear when Vishwamitra Muni came and asked for Lord Ramachandra to accompany him to take care of some demons that were disturbing his yajna. So he really was distressed, because he was thinking, he's just a child. He's not even 12 years old. How can he's just learning. How can you take him to take care of these very, very powerful demons? I am present. I will go, and I will take care of that. So their position becomes covered. Similarly, higher than Ayodhya is Mathura and Dwarka. And in Mathura and Dwarka, then it becomes closer, or it becomes more like, almost like half and half, or very equally, this mood of awe and reverence and this mood of love without awe and reverence. Prabhupada defines them as Aishwarya Purna and Aishwarya Sitila. So love with full opulence and love without any of the conception of opulence. So this is the situation of the devotees in Mathura and Dwarka. They have both of these equally. So they go in between. And it's quite bewildering, because it's a very opposite sort of feelings. So this is the theme that is through these prayers, how they go from one position to another. Almost even in the same verse, that Devaki says that you're the Supreme Personality of God, that the whole cosmic manifestation comes from you. But please do something, so Kansa doesn't know that you're taking birth, so he doesn't come to kill you. So to kill you. So in one sense, you say you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unborn, ever existent. But then he comes, this demon, and is going to kill you. So these are very contrasting understandings. And Prabhupada explains that the experience that she has of fear is not like the experience that we have of fear or anxiety. The experience that she has, Devaki, of fear, is an experience that is born out of her pure love and attachment to Krishna. So it's a transcendental experience. It is explained that all these transcendental emotions and feelings that the devotees have to go through, they actually becomes ecstasy. They're sources of all kinds of ecstatic transformations and feelings. Give you also an example. Also with Lord Ramachandra is, we have, last year I had the opportunity to go to a yatra to Ayodhya, and then we heard about the presence of Lord Ramachandra, and one of the features, the main features of Lord Ramachandra's pastime is that exemplify the mood of lamentation. The whole pastimes of Lord Ramachandra is almost permeated by lamentation. You get a broken heart after another broken heart. And just when things are perfect and most beautiful, Lord Ramachandra and all the brothers marry Sita and Sita's sisters, and the whole world is so happy. Lord Ramachandra is going to be crowned, and then this big tragedy happens, and then the whole world goes into this whirlwind of lamentation and sorrow. And then Lord Ramachandra goes into the forest, and they were happy in the forest, and all of a sudden Ravana comes and kidnaps Sita. And Lord Ramachandra goes into this mood of sorrow and lamentation. And then finally they rescue Sita, and they go back and become established, in the kingdom. And then some citizens started to criticize Sita Devi, and then Lord Ramachandra banished her because of his duty. And it becomes, this terrible lamentation. And then finally, through the work of Valmiki Muni, Lav and Kush, which were the children or the sons of Lord Ramachandra and Sita Devi, comes, and by their narration of the Ramayana, then they bring Sita back. But then, because of citizens suspicious, then Lord Ramachandra, then Sita at the end give up her life and enter back into the earth. So this whole thing is just lamentation and lamentation. And the whole mood of Ayodhya is lamentation. So one can think, from our perspective, what is so ecstatic and happy, and a source of upliftment about a story that is full of tragedy and lamentation. But the devotees feel great ecstasy and understand when you go through these beautiful pastimes. And the reason is that our acharyas explain that these emotions that the devotees go through, of fear, lamentation, anger, or other more, like laughing and things like that, all these emotions, what they do is that enhances or bring out our attachment to Krishna, or to the Lord, to Lord Ramachandra in this case. So when the devotees feel the separation from Krishna, then they become broken-hearted. But that separation, or that feeling of being separated from Krishna, then enhances the attachment towards Krishna. And when that attachment becomes enhanced, then one's become fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, and therefore ecstatic. So it's a transcendental position that for most of us who are conditioned still by this bodily concept of life, is not possible totally to experience, although we do experience something. Krishna explains that experience that we have is called param drishta nirvartante, which is a higher taste. Krishna gives us a little taste of the happiness of the soul. Sometimes, we experience that during an amazing festival. I don't know if any of you have that experience during some Janmashtami festival, or maybe during an amazing kirtan, like Sadhu Sangha or something like that, right? How many went Sadhu Sangha this year? So how many has been ever in Sadhu Sangha? So most of you, and some of you come from Alatra, which is a festival of the holy names, right? Pretty fantastic experience. And you can go for hours and hours and hours and really experience some happiness that in general we don't experience, consistently like that. That's the experience of the soul. One time, my spiritual master told me something that I always remember. When I was a new devotee, my service was to go on Harinam. I got the chance to go on Harinam in New York before Indra Prabhu went to Vrindavan for the 24-hour kirtan. He was in New York City, and he had this amazing kirtan, Harinam program, like really, really far out. He built a moving temple. Any of you have seen the pictures of a moving temple? If you look actually if you Google it, Indra's moving temple, maybe it comes. There's a picture, some pictures from the BBT there. Anyway, if you can imagine this, like like box truck, that things that are used for transporting food and things like that, like a box. And then the doors will open on the side, not in the back, but on the side like this. And then what he did inside the box, he built like a temple with, arches, mirrors, an altar, the floor, like marble floor. And then he will cover the whole truck with arches made of fiberglass, but it looked exactly like ornate temple. So when people will come in the street, he will park it in the street. You won't see a truck, you just see a temple all of a sudden there. So Indra Prabhu will sit with, some of us inside the box, and then have kirtan. And then on the side, we have book tables with dioramas, and someone will distribute books like that. So that was an everyday thing. And I was a new bhakta, and so that was my service. And there was one day that I had this experience that, I was chanting the holy name in kirtan, and I was very absorbed in hearing. Indra was, pretty fantastic even then. And then I have this experience that all of a sudden, everything went, sort of, the whole world sort of disconnected. And I had almost this, I don't know, what I remember was like light. And it was like a wow type of thing. When I went like, wow, immediately the thing went away. So it was just like a moment. It was really, really like a moment like that. And I don't know if I was, still affected by my previous life. But anyway, I had something like that, some experience like that. So when I come back to the temple, my spiritual master at that time, he was not my spiritual master, but he was, one of the resident sannyasis. he asked me, he usually will ask us, so how did it go? How was your day today? How was the Harinam? So I say, oh, Maharaj, I have this far out experience. So I describe, I was sitting and all of a sudden, this light that everything disappeared, and then, like all of a sudden I go like, wow, and then poof, go back to normal. So then he laughed, and then he said, well, you have the experience of, Krishna gave you a drop of the experience of the happiness of the soul. Because I told him that actually was a moment that I felt really happy in that moment. He said, you have a drop, a little moment of the experience of the happiness of the soul. Krishna does that to you. So when you have that taste of that moment, of that happiness, you want more. You look for more and more and more because it's something that you don't experience like that. You don't have that type of experience like that. So we want more. And then he says this, and which is what I always remember. Just imagine that moment 24/7. That is the life of the spirit soul. So the life of the spirit soul is full of happiness and bliss. And I remember reading, I was a musician before becoming a devotee. So music was always very important, music and dance. So remember reading from the Brahma Samhita that in the spiritual world, every step is a dance, every word is a song. So I'm imagining, this transcendental Broadway show or something like that, no? Of devotees. But, if we think about it, when we're really happy in general, people like to sing and dance, And this is the activities of the spirit soul. It's such a wonderful life. Prabhupada explains that our life as a spirit soul is based on three things, basically. Kirtan, singing, dancing, and feasting, taking prasadam. All the philosophy, all the austerities, the sadhana, everything we do is simply to allow us or to help us understand that really our life is just based on kirtan, dancing, and feasting with the devotees. And when we read the pastimes of Lord Krishna or the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, even more graphic, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, it's just about that. So these are these transcendental emotions that these great personalities, great devotees have to go through. They simply enhances the attachment and the love for Krishna. So, so these are the theme of these prayers. In this case also, actually, I'm going to finish with this. Devaki is saying, she's a little anxious that, people really won't believe that Lord Vishnu took birth from her womb. So, she's maybe ridiculed, like, what? 4 hands? Dress with crown and flowers, that's how you took birth? No. So, so she says, just please then transform yourself into a human-like child. Krishna. So it's like very, how do you say, bewildering type of emotion she goes with, you know. Like the gratitude in previous verses she expresses of Krishna taking birth in her womb. And, you know, being a little anxious if people will criticize her. Prabhupada, the Acharyas explains, same thing. The fear or the anxiety, you see, all these emotions, the anxiety of criticism, the anxiety of the fear of danger, is not mundane. It's all based on the love for Krishna. So when it's explained that she is afraid, she's not afraid about herself. She's afraid, you know, in relationship to Krishna. She's not anxious about her being criticized, but she's anxious about people deriding Krishna. And the fact is that is what we see in this material world. Krishna explains, Abhajananti manmudha, that fools deride him. And for fools, he doesn't manifest, he covers himself. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samabrita. That he covers himself with the yoga maya and doesn't allow the materialists to see him or to understand him. So I stop here. Any comments or questions? I'll ask you a question then. How's it going so far? So, Kishori Yatra, nice program. We have the opportunity to host you guys last year, a whole group, and go on Harinam, which was fantastic. And so, you guys enjoying the program? Nice. So how long you been doing it now? This trip, it's in June 2nd, June 6th. So, a couple of weeks now, no? Nice. And next, where are you going next? It's wonderful. It's a very nice program, organized. Manoram Prabhu and his good wife, Jai Sri Radhe Mataji, is doing such a wonderful service. Thank you. So if there is no any question, we can finish here. And breakfast is going to be served like around 9 something, 9:10, 9:05, like that. So downstairs, yes. Meanwhile, you can hang around, have kirtan if you like. So feel home. Thank you again. Garantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.